So, I've been kind of lazy in editing my videos because the thing is, I be doing, if you don't know, one form of passive income that opened up to me is that I'm a CapCut template creator. So what happens is I make edits on various things such as wrestling, boxing, UFC, historical things, football, meaning world football, not the one that has my favorite team, Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody knows that I'm a Philly Eagles fan. PHILL, crooked letter Y. That's another story for another day. Um, but yeah, I've been kind of lazy editing these videos, so to say, and I apologize for that. It's just that I spend so much time editing other things that it's not even funny. Like, bro, if anything, I make 1 to 2 templates a day, and just coming up with new ideas for those templates is kind of crazy in itself, because you have creativity is a part of the game, basically. I think Sheikh Anta Job said, man has to create to survive. I think he said that. I believe Sheikh Anta Job said that. Rahimahullah. May Allah have mercy on him. Um, but what I want to say is this exposes what I'm about to talk about exposes the nature of the Western Muslim woman. You would think that, for example, and I'm sorry to say this, but uh, like the majority of Western Muslim women fall into this category. Right? They really are. I want to say the average Western Muslim woman does not care about religion. Okay, she cares about things in which the religion has that cater to her, but however, she's not willing to do the other parts, which will give her those things that she thinks she's catered to. I'll give an example. I have a book, uh, and in that book, it says basically that if a woman if a woman is outside the house without her husband's permission, right? The husband is not obligated to take care of that woman until she gets back into the house. Okay? That's one thing that needs to be said from a fiqh perspective. This is from a fiqh perspective. So if a woman says, for example, like let's just say a woman, because a lot of women have single friends. That's the thing. Like even married women have single friends. So what happens is the single friends are going to invite them out and say, okay, yeah, let's get away, let's have a girls' trip or whatever the case may be. The husband may say, no, I don't want you going on that girls' trip. Like these your friends are single. I mean, if they were married, then perhaps it would be different. But all and we would be going with you most of the time, you know. But this is not the case. So what happened is that the husband can say, no, I'm not paying for anything. That's all on you. Only you pay for your girls trip. I'm not paying for your girls trip. As a matter of fact, I may divorce you, since you insist on going. I'm telling you not to go, you know. That's his right. He can do that. But now, what I want to say now is, okay, so, um, Sadia Khan prides herself on being in the quote unquote red pill space, talking about women, you know, talking about being, the usual jargon, being the best version of yourself. She calls herself a high value woman and what have you. Obviously, she has work that has been done. She's had work done on herself. You can tell. And, you know, it just goes to show again the disingenuous nature of these people. Because if you were really trying to help people, you wouldn't be charging what she's charging. Okay. I am, and granted, I went to her Instagram page, I went to her website just to see intel on what she was doing. And you know, the thing is she was charging 8,000 uh eight equivalent of 8 to 12,000 USD for not even coaching, so to say, not even like uh, not even a game plan for you to reach your goals. And if she was, and I'm not about to make takfir on her. I try not to make takfir on anybody, to be honest with you. I try to like keep from making takfir because that's a very heavy thing to do. But if she was a true practicing Muslim woman, right, she wouldn't be charging that much, and she would derive her sources from the Quran and the Sunnah. She would not derive it from new psychological sources. She would derive it from the Quran and Sunnah because we have all the answers in there. The someone told me something very heavy. He said that the Quran the Quran has everything in it. It may not have every word of everything, but it has everything in it. For example, he said the word snow is not in the Quran, but there are verses which indicate snow. You know what I mean? He used that as an example. And it's the same thing with the prophetic sunnah. The prophetic sunnah covers everything when it comes to gender relations and things like that. Now, granted, more Muslim countries are becoming secular. I'm not gonna lie. All you have to do is just look at Dubai. There was just I want to say a Instagram reel that I saw, which just showed nightlife. It showed clubs and everything like that, and I'm like, and this is supposed to be a Muslim country, huh? So yes, unfortunately, that's happened. As a matter of fact, you have one Saudi guy who said, I'm not. I encourage entertainment in the sense of Western entertainment and things of that nature." And he's supposed to be a Saudi scholar, right? Now, I'm gonna try to play a clip, and this is how I knew she was disingenuous at first. This is how I knew that there was some disingenuous nature in what she was doing. Hold on, let me find it. Find it. And my thing is my thing is you know my thing is my thing about her, right? It's my thing. If you are such a good Muslim, why are you coming up with a system that is not grounded in the Quran and Sunnah? That's my thing. All of my talking points in which I make, I try to trace it back to the Kitab and the Sunnah, you know, because we have so many. One thing that people have to understand is that scholars back in the day, they weren't just scholars; they were social activists. I would go as far as to say they were sociologists. There was one time where I think Umar al Khattab, Rahimahullah, Radiallahu An, uh, let me try to find it actually. Let me see. Give me 1 minute. Um, so, so, I think it was Umar's son, Ibn Umar. Um, it was Umar's son. Let me see. It was so although we're allowed to intermarry, Muslims are allowed to intermarry with Christians and even Yahudi, which I don't know why you would do so. Um, but the thing is that uh, even the Prophet alayhi salatu salam, he said that he said get one who is religious and prosper, and he meant by that a Muslim woman. He didn't mean just like any religion. You know what I mean? Um, so what happened? So there was a time, I believe, that Umar, radiallahu an, he prohibited marriage between Muslim men and Christian and Yahudi women, because he's like, okay, well, if you don't marry Muslim women, who is going to marry them? You know what I mean? So that's what happened at one time or another. He prohibited people from doing that. So what needs to be said? Okay, what needs to be said is that uh, what what needs to be said is that with the Sadia Khan, right? It's like she uses her own methodology, which is contrary to the Quran and Sunnah. And listen to her. Listen to what she says. Hold on.
There's nowhere worse than Dubai because of promiscuity in Dubai
Hold
amongst
on.
men and women. It's the only city in the world.
Hold on. Let me see. And it's not only her, just Pearly thinks it's the same thing. They're all grifters. They're all grifters. So let me see. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I can find it. I didn't mean to go on this long, by the way. Okay, well, I can't find the video right now. I can't find the video. I'm not about to even give her any views or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that she tried to make it seem like younger women. She tried to make it seem like younger women were just out here just throwing box like crazy. Um, so you know, in the West, yes, that is the truth. That's the truth. Okay, there's no doubt about it. That is the truth. So the thing is that, but she tried to generalize. She tried to generalize um, all the women, that all younger women were doing this, and that's not the case at all. That's not it. This is not all happening with all women, especially in the part of the world where I'm in. This is not happening. Because they know that, hey, if they do some kind of like thing where there may be wedlock, babies out of wedlock or something like that, then the family is going to be mad. Of course, family's going to be mad. Now, one thing that really kind of, I will say, is the fact that this woman, she talks about this high value, this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, she's a whole side chick. It's like, bro, you can't secure a man of your own since you're such a high value woman. Like, come on now. Like, please be real. Why couldn't you secure a man of your own versus you shacking up with someone who I think was supposed to be married or something like that, getting married or something? So like it just again shows how these dating coaches are just fraudulent. It shows how all of them are, be it the man or be it the women. That I in Islam we have something called fitra, which is natural disposition. Okay, I try to adhere to that as close as possible. And if you're in your natural disposition, I believe that all of that stuff sorts itself out. Although we live in an unnatural world right now, it's pretty crappy, I'll say the least. You know, I'll say the least. It's pretty crappy. Um, but what I'm gonna say is this. This is what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna end. And then I'm gonna end this video. Is that it's just very hypocritical that you're trying to teach people a high value man this, high value woman this. Meanwhile, you're a whole side chick. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Um, Now, another thing I want to say too is, and this has to do with the Muslim community, and yes, I probably will get some backlash for saying this, but I have experienced more racism amongst Indian, Pakistani, Bengali Muslims than I have Arab Muslims, probably because I'm Arab adjacent, meaning that, I speak the language because I've had Arabic teachers, mostly from Sudan, shout outs to them, you know. And I guess you can say that if you look at my phenotype, many times I would be mistaken for Sudanese. And that's largely because I have some distant relatives who did settle in Sudan. Uh, when the French and the British and the Germans came to my part of Africa. So for me, it was not a problem to like talk to a Khaliji, talk to a Sudani, talk to a Levant, Levantine, and get along just fine with them. For the most part, it wasn't an issue. But when it came to the Pakistani, the Bengali, and the Indian Muslim, that's when the issue started. Um, and so I say this to say that they'll be so anti-black, right? But at the same time, they'll be doing black shit or what they consider black shit. Okay, Sadia Khan's a perfect example of this. So this is why I really it's just like disingenuous for them to like hold their chins up. Meanwhile, they're involved in the same kind of lewd and bad behaviors, you know. So that's all I'm gonna say for now. And again, if it's one message I want to get across in this video, is that if you're Muslim, please just stick with our original sources when it comes to relationship issues and gender roles and all of that stuff. The answers are in there. The Prophet Muhammad himself, upon him be peace, he advocated for us men. He advocated for us men to get the best deal, okay? It's many hadiths, many prophetic traditions, it's many rulings pertaining to this. So just stick with that, and please don't rely on guys like what's his name, Lucario, guys like Fit X Fearless, guys like Fresh and Fit, guys like what's his name, Hamza. Don't rely on these guys. You have the sources. Non-Muslims, no disrespect, but you have your own life. You can do what you want with it. I really don't care who you depend on for your, gender situation advice. Well, anyhow, that's all I gotta say for now. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Signing out. Njara.